Guatemala is one of the poorest countries in the world. There is a thick line between the wealthy and those so stricken with poverty that some have to do the unimaginable just to survive.
¿Cómo está la situación económica para usted?
Para mí está muy bajo ahorita, porque no hay negocio. Sí.
Some people in the U.S. hear these stories of poverty and look to the internet and search how to help people in Guatemala. Page after page, websites offer a chance to volunteer. One of those is a link to Refuge International. The Texas-based organization plans about 12 trips a year. They work to provide clinics with U.S.-trained medical teams for a week and have gone into the jungles near the Honduras border to establish a clinic and clean drinkable tap water in Sarsoon. The organization depends on the work of their volunteers. Most have never met before their arrival in Guatemala City.
And where's Abraham?
While others get reacquainted with familiar faces and signs of poverty surround them. They'll continue their travels on a long road before they reach their final destination. On the March mission to Chocla, volunteers were told that the bus ride could take 2 to 8 hours, depending on the road conditions. Volunteers registered and paid for this opportunity to help people, and on the first day, after traveling by air and by land, with the unpredictability of electricity in an underdeveloped village, they had to work together to unpack and sort medical supplies before calling it a day.
What is it? Is it A7 or C3? C6?
S16.
Okay. That can go right along here.
Okay.
Volunteers were split up into teams,
And who's going to scrub on the other one? Okay.
and everyone depends on someone to lend a hand or their skills. There are 23 recognized dialects in Guatemala, and Manuela is speaking Quiche. And translating in Spanish to volunteer Luis Rojas, who translated Spanish to English in the medical consultations with Dr. Scott Lawrence.
He was home treatment and just gone and then...
It came back?
Yes.
Okay. So when did this first start? When did she first start having problems with her stomach?
¿Cuándo comenzó ese problema?
The two paired together to help the doctor understand what the patient needed to communicate to the doctor and what the doctor needed to communicate back to the patient. It's the knowledge and compassion that Refuge International volunteers have for the people that makes for successful missions.
Él me está educando para yo educar a la gente. Tratamos de que no se vayan solo con medicina, sino que con un poco de educación también, qué es lo que les está pasando en su vida para que se recuperen pronto y que se cuiden también.
This trip into Chocla marked the first time that an ultrasound machine was used. It allowed ultrasound technician Shayna Panlin to use her expertise, although still limited compared to the advanced features back home.
For a baby, it'd be nice that I could see that they have a 3-vessel umbilical cord. Like, the color would be nice for that and make sure they have the proper amount of arteries and veins.
The ultrasound machine was also used to prep patients before surgery for better pain management after surgery. Anesthesiologist Brian Kinder teamed up with Shayna to prepare during pre-op by window light.
Ultrasound has really been helpful for anesthesia because with probably 90% of the patients we've done this week so far, we've been able to do peripheral nerve blocks, and we've had almost no nausea because they get very little narcotics.
The people that receive their service embrace the technology of modern medicine that the organization brings to them.
Dios le ha dado a cada uno inteligencia cómo desarrollarse, su capacidad hasta dónde, y es hasta ahí donde la ciencia va elevando más. Y por esa razón nosotros buscamos lo que es la ciencia, un médico.
The availability of electricity was a challenge in an environment like Chocla's. But with some creativity, the volunteers managed to find a way together.
It's not one thing, it's another.
Quick thinking by CRNA Paul McCarricker allowed surgeon Ken Evelyn to see a little better until the power came back during the gallbladder surgery.
The bulb went out in the big light, the surgical light, so Just had to improvise a little bit. I got my flashlight out of my pocket and reached over the drape and just held it over his field while he worked for a while.
Refuge International's medical missions have helped people in Guatemala for over a decade, and they have had their share of obstacles over the years. It is impossible to tell which skills will be available for every trip. Each mission has a unique blend of challenges and people working together in a foreign environment to help patients they may never get a chance to see ever again. Their volunteers come from all across the United States and become a team for 1 week in Guatemala.